Hey gorgeous, welcome to Pretty Girl Rich Era, and if you've already been here, welcome back. Today's video is packed with gems from different creators, all sharing their advice for moms, whether you're a single mom or not. Because let's be real, motherhood is a journey and we all need a little wisdom along the way. I won't be popping back in at the end, so make sure you watch all the way through and soak it all up. And while you're at it, don't forget to grab the 30-day Glow Up Journal Planner because looking good, feeling good, and leveling up starts from inside. Alright, let's get into the video.
After motherhood, so many of us lose who we are. Like, if you don't really have a sense of who you are as a person outside of being somebody's mother and wife and cleanup person and, helpmate and maid and cook and all of that, if your whole identity is wrapped in your identity of motherhood and being a partner, then you really start to lose yourself in that. So the problem isn't so much that you just have a lot to do. The problem is there's a loss of identity and you don't really know who you are anymore. And so you start filling that void with things and stuff and action items and to-do lists instead of sitting still to kind of figure out who you are and whose you are outside of your traditional role that you're playing as a mom and a spouse.
Alright, this video is for the struggling parents and the struggling parents only. If you are a parent that completely has your life together and you're picture perfect and you can't do no wrong, this one ain't for y'all. Much love, but this one ain't for y'all. I'm about to give y'all a little story time. You ready? So a few years back when COVID hit, my mom, she works at a hospital and she was running the COVID tent at the time, registration for COVID tests. And she was having some issues with her car, right? So she reached out and she was like, hey, can I get a ride to work? And I'm like, hell yeah, of course. Like, I got you, right? So I'm driving her to work and she's boo-hoo crying. And I'm like, Mom, what's up? Like, what's going on? Like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong? She opened up. She was like, I just got a lot going on. Like, I'm just so exhausted. I'm so overwhelmed and all these things. We get to work, right? I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. We get to her work. She wipes her tears and put a smile on her face so quick. And she's like, okay, I gotta go show up. And she got out the car and walked right in the building. And I'm crying on the whole way home. Like, bro, because I needed to see that so badly. And I know I'm about to get mad emotional and mad vulnerable, baby, because I'm struggling and I don't know who this message is for. But our ability to teach our children strength and what real strength is does not stem from our ability to cover up our pain. It doesn't come from being able to fake a smile. Who can fake it the best? Some mornings on the way to school, we just have to be real people. We just have to put that worship music on and be like, listen, baby, mommy is struggling. And this music right now, God is all I got, and we're going to make it through. I don't know how. I don't know how, but sometimes we had to do that, yo. We have to stop trying to fake a smile and stop trying to play like we're superheroes, because we're not. We're human beings, and it's okay to show our children that. It's okay to be real with our kids and be like, we're going to make it through this, but right now, this is hard. Sometimes you gotta cry them real tears, and you gotta be real honest with your kids. Whoever this message is for, I just want you to know we all go through hard times, bro. Like, no matter how successful somebody seems, we're all struggling behind closed doors. Whether it's for a season or for a lifetime or for a second, we all have struggles that we have to get through. And to be a strong parent does not mean that you have to hide your emotions all the time. Sometimes you show strength by being a real human being in front of your children.
If you don't wake up happy every morning, something's wrong with your life. I don't care what the weather looks like. You need to wake up happy. If you're not waking up happy, figure out what's making you sad and change it. Make sure your life is better than your mother's life. Okay. They may not have done the things that they wanted to do in life. Don't make the same mistake. A lot of ladies look up when they get to a certain age and they realize they've done nothing that they've wanted to do because they've made terrible decisions, basing their life choices on what someone else said that they were going to do. So a lot of women won't take certain risks and figure out, that it was for their best interest. They were programmed to do certain things, which is like sacrifice, go with somebody because they love you or you love them. And, the Bible says, but they never thought about what they truly wanted and what would make them absolutely happy. You're an older woman. no one else is trying to give you advice. By then, they're expecting you to have the wisdom. But a lot of ladies that are older, they don't have any wisdom because they were too busy working and trying to struggle and take care of everybody else but themselves. And they didn't even have time to become wise. They didn't even have time to become, that type of woman who is like the matriarch or the elder of a family. All they know is work, come home, cook, go to sleep, get up, work, take care of kids. That's all they know. So where in that amount of time, where were they going to find wisdom and happiness? Nowhere, right?
I'm the mother of 6, and here are 6 pieces of postpartum advice you won't hear from anyone else. 1, if you are planning on breastfeeding, buy a can of formula and just put it in the cupboard. Let me tell you, there is nothing worse than it being 3 a.m. You're crying, your baby's crying, your husband's crying, and then he's driving around for 3 hours trying to find a place that's open that has formula. Your baby's gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. Give your baby some formula and call the lactation specialist in the morning. 2, paper plates, paper bowls, everything paper. 3, lower your expectations for you, for your baby, for your partner, for your life. You're focused on survival right now. Everything else can wait. 4, you are going to print out a list of all of the symptoms of postpartum depression. Keep them on a wall somewhere, and you're going to give the list to your partner, to your best friend, to your mom, and ask them to watch out and bring it up if they see that it's an issue. 5, you are going to make and keep a list, all of the names and numbers of people that can help you immediately when you need it. You think that you will remember, but you won't. You are so tired. Just put a list on your cupboard. And 6, everybody says, make sure to shower every day. No, screw that. Just buy some dry shampoo.
I want women to move with the confidence that men move, because a man with 3 children, 3 different baby mothers, he feels he deserves to have any woman that he wants. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I want that same energy for women. Right. Shawnee married Shaq and she had a kid when she married Shaq. There's plenty of women who get amazing men and they have children, but we have been groomed as women to have this lack mindset. Like there's not enough. There's enough. And that's what
I really believe that mothers and children are like a forgotten species in our modern day society. Like you become a mom and then suddenly you're like pushed out. Go find your mommy and me group. Go figure it out on your own. And we'll see you when you can be productive again.
The job of being a mother, it feels a lot for one person because it was never meant to be for one person.
Exactly.
It was meant for a village. A village was
like, let's remember how to take care of our moms.
Yeah.
They need rest. They need proper nutrition. They need help. They need love. They need loving touch. They to just help them through this transition from woman to mother.
Never give your kid an indefinite consequence, right? So what I mean by that, I used to teach. And when we had a kid for recess, we would kind of use recess as the carrot to dangle over a kid's head when they're in class. Like, y'all gonna lose y'all recess if y'all act up. Y'all gonna lose y'all recess. Y'all do this in the lunchroom, whatever the case may be. So it would work a lot of times. They'll act up and we'd come in, okay, no recess today. Y'all got to sit down. They would sit there and be quiet because they knew, like, if y'all mess up this, if y'all act up while y'all in recess and y'all not supposed to be having it, somebody talking, there's going to be no recess the next day, right? And it would work. And one thing I saw one day was, they came in recess when they lost their recess. They were still acting up. And the person said, you know what? Recess over for the rest of the school year. No more recess, period. Y'all ain't never having recess again. And they sat there for about 2 minutes and they thought, and they said, well, fuck it.
We might as well tee this
like, it's no
then.
reason. It's no reason to act better. Yeah. If the consequence is still going to be present. So now there's no reward for me changing my behavior. I don't get anything back because recess is gone forever. So at that point, the consequence became completely irrelevant, and it was no longer effective in changing behavior. So how that relates to the home life, if you tell your kid, like, you want punishment forever, or even if it's too long, it ain't got to be indefinite. If it's like a time that they can't fathom in their mind, like to a 10-year-old, a month is like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? You say life. You can't play your game for a month. It's like,
I'm about to die.
Fuck this shit. You know what I'm saying? So make your consequences short enough for it to be realistic for them, but also long enough for it to be effective.
When you give birth to a child, when a human being is coming out of your body, everything changes. Priorities. What matters, you learn to go to the core of things. What I want people to remember is that you can fall beneath the earth, but you always can rise. It does not matter how hard it is. Get up and live your life. You know it. That's how we roll.
Blessings, mamas. There's one important way to become the best mom you can be, but it's not what you think. It's not reading parenting books and researching all of the parenting styles. It is not being a perfect mom. It is not making sure your child's every need and every want is met. You want to know what it is? It's taking care of you, making sure you are okay mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, so that you can be an example to your children. So that what you want them to be, you can say, hey, I'm living proof. And your kids can say, I want to be like mommy when I grow up. As a matter of fact, I want to be like mommy now. So if you need help with mom self-care, make sure you follow and stay tuned for more videos to help you become whole and healed as a mom. Take care. God bless.
Unpopular opinion here, but you're not struggling because you're a single mother or you didn't wait to have kids until you got married. You're struggling because you're broke. And getting married doesn't necessarily change that. Matter of fact, in our community, it makes it worse. We've all heard by now that Ashanti is pregnant and she's going to be pretty much another unwed mother. We get that part. But I want us to stop focusing on the unmarried part and start focusing on the literal games that these men will play with us. At my big age, and as somebody who's been married multiple times, I'm here to tell you, marriage is not going to save you from being burnt out, overworked, and broke as a mother. And men, they know this. That's why a lot of them will push to get you pregnant before marrying you, because they know that being married to a broke man is little to no benefit for you or your children. But if he gets you pregnant before he gets you married, he won't have to force you to make a bad business decision to marry a broke man. Society will do that for him. Now you're going to be both legally bound and biologically bound to a broke Dusty who's not going to do anything for you either way. Now he owns you and the baby legally. I don't know. Again, it's an unpopular opinion, but after going back and looking at what marriage was actually established for, which is the transfer of wealth and power, I'm beginning to believe that marriage is just a way for men to gatekeep childbirth. Because think about it. You are placed on this earth born with a set of ovaries, a uterus, and a vagina, with the full capability to give birth and bear children. But you have to be married to a man before you can exercise your God-given right. It's kind of weird, especially when a marriage contract isn't the only contract that can protect your interests economically. They said mama's baby, daddy's maybe, and marriage was supposed to cure all that. But the lie detector and the fact that divorce rates are over 50% determined that that was a lie. So I'm not saying don't get married before you carry and all that other stuff. I feel like that's a personal decision. But let's think about this with some business sense, okay? Stop marrying broke-ass, bummy-ass dudes just to say that you're married so that you can then bring a bunch of kids into this world so they can struggle with you. Protect yourself and them kids. It starts with marriage. It doesn't end there.
Today, I really want to talk about healing while being a mom. I don't think this is talked about a lot. People do not really take into consideration how hard it is to heal while being a mom. You still have to get up every day and tackle the day-to-day things that you have to do as a mom while you're hurting. And that's one of the most toughest things that you could possibly do. Some days you're not even going to feel like getting out of bed, because I've been there. I've been there where I literally did not want to get out of bed. I just wanted to stay in bed all day because I'm depressed or I'm sad or I'm mad. But I still have to get up and show up for my kids. I just want to say, from mother to mother, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. Don't beat yourself up about it. You know, everybody still expects you to be happy. You're going through a breakup. You done lost a parent. Whatever is going on in your life, you know, that's causing you grief. People want you to wake up the next day and just be happy and be the best mom ever. And it's just sometimes that's not realistic. Sometimes that just does not happen. And that's okay. You know, eventually you'll get to a place where you are healed. I'm not even at a place where I'm fully healed. I'm probably 80% healed from the things that I have gone through. We got to think about, some of us have been through traumatic pregnancies where we was dog walked, okay, during our pregnancy. That's something that you don't get over that quick. So give yourself grace, please.
Here's a list of unpopular things that I do as a Black mom. I have boundaries. No, you can't pop up unannounced. No, you can't give my child something I said they can't have. Yes, you have to run things by me first. Number 2, I treat my baby like a human and not an object. No, I'm not passing her around at the family gathering. She's not a show and tell object, and Cousin Faith, who I barely know, is not walking around with my baby. Number 3, I focus on regulating my own emotions so that I can respond to my child appropriately. I know that I'm not a perfect person, and the best part of parenting my child has been growing myself as well. I don't take anger or frustration out on my child, and I respond to her frustration by bringing her down and not matching her energy. Number 4, I don't force her to go to anyone. I don't care who it is. It can be my own mom. If she doesn't want to go, she doesn't have to. Consent is required. It's not optional. So if my child clearly doesn't want you touching her or picking her up, don't. She's a person who deserves respect. Number 5, I meet all of her emotional needs as well as her wants, and I did so even when she was a newborn. There's this mindset that as long as the baby is fed, changed, and rested, then there's nothing wrong with them, even if they're crying. And like I said before, my baby is not an object. She's a human. Crying is communication, and as her mother, I'm responding to whatever it is that she needs, even if it's just being held. Number 6, I don't allow her to be babysat by anyone. Being related doesn't automatically make you trustworthy enough to keep my kid. I don't care if you're her dad's mom. That's not enough for me to trust you with my child in your care. We have to have a secure relationship and a hell of amount of trust and respect for me to even consider this. Number 7, I breastfeed. Many Black people are still uneducated about breast milk and breastfeeding as a whole. Some are brainwashed into thinking that formula is better. Because formula is the default, the moment a mom is struggling with breastfeeding, it's give that baby some formula instead of supplying mom with resources and support. I'm also still breastfeeding my 18-month-old, so you can assume how that judgment goes. Number 8, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Kid you not, as soon as my daughter turned 6 weeks, it was, so when are you going back to work? Which was never the plan between myself and my partner. We had already established that 1 year off was the minimum. So it annoyed me so bad when people outside of our household inquired about this. It's like if you decide to stay at home and raise your kid, all of a sudden you're lazy and looked at crazy. Number 9, I give my daughter a reason as to why I'm saying no. There is no because I said so. There's a reason, and she deserves an explanation, even if she doesn't fully understand right now. Putting this into play now will ensure I have a more positive response to her questioning me as she gets older. And questioning is not disrespect. Number 10, I allow my child to tantrum or be emotional. Her feelings are valid and always will be. She's a 1-year-old toddler right now, and everything is a big deal to her. She can't regulate her emotions. So we talk about feelings and we get through it. Because of this, I have an 18-month-old who tells me when she's happy, when she's sad, and when she's angry. But tell me if you can relate. What are some things that you do as a mom that you feel are unpopular?
And people ask me what my secret is. Money. People don't want to hear that. People want to hear lies and fantasies and fallacies.
Mom guilt shows up in every aspect. It can show up in you taking time with yourself. It can show up in, I can be out shopping and I'd be like, oh, you know what? I got a cart full of stuff for my kids, but let me grab myself one t-shirt. I don't need that t-shirt. The kids need something. Mom guilt can show up in, okay, my kid, when I was pregnant, I said I would not ever give my kid certain snacks and stuff like that. And now he loves fruit snacks. Honestly, whenever he asked me for back, I'd be like, dog, you're not even supposed to be eating these. Like, it shows up in numerous ways. And I think ways that you can combat that is really just giving your space giving yourself space and grace, even if that's just mentally. Like my sister just had a baby, and I keep having to remind her, hey, you're very much so new to this. This baby is 8 weeks old. So that means you've been on earth for 31 years before this new person just got here, and it's changes every dynamic of you.
Newsflash, buddy. Here's one generational curse that I am breaking with my kids. You could be a grandmother, a grandfather, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, a godfather, a godmother, doesn't matter, you name it. It is your job to make the effort to come see my child. Yep, it's your job. It is not my responsibility to make my child have a relationship with you when you never come around to see them. Why do I have to be the one to take my child to go see you? Why do I have to be the one to follow up with you to let you know how my child is doing? My children will see for themselves who comes around and who doesn't. I won't even have to say anything because actions speak louder than words, and they will see it for themselves. I'm not hiding that from them. If my child ends up never knowing you, that's on you. Because this is not 1726. We even got FaceTime nowadays. You can FaceTime, did you know that? And another newsflash, the times that you do decide to come around, yeah, I'm not begging them to bow down to your existence out of respect because you are an elder in the family or you are older than them. No, I'm not doing that. I refuse to make them act like they've known you their entire lives when you just decided to come around. I will allow for them to create their own relationships and for them to flourish on their own. And to do that, you need to come around. You need to come around. And not because I'm like, hey, do you want to see my kids? Imagine me asking that. Hey, you've never met my kids. You want to come meet them? So yeah, do what you will with that information.
She said, talk to your kids, cry out to God. Talk to your kids, cry out to God. Listen, I was in a live Bible study the other day, and I'm going to tag the creator below because she's amazing. She's live Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. EST. But she said something so profound, and I swear I will never let it go. She said, talk to those kids. Cry out to God. And I had to sit on that note for like 2 days after that live because it made me think so deeply about how comfortable we get screaming at our children, but then we're timid in the presence of the Lord. Your prayer life is timid, but you're always hooping and hollering at your children. When did we become so comfortable taking everything out on our babies as if they are the problem? They are not the reason why you are financially unstable. Ooh, that's such a raw, hard truth. It is not their fault that you don't know how to handle yourself or your emotions or your lifestyle or anything. It's not their fault that you're stressed out. It's not their fault that you're so overstimulated all the time. It's not their fault. And we scream at our babies as if it's them, but then we go to God timid. Why? Why are we screaming at our kids more than we're covering our kids in prayer? Ooh, that's sick. You constantly crying about your baby dad and how much help you don't get. Baby, bring that child to his heavenly Father. Why are you not covering him? Why are you not going to God and asking God to help you steward motherhood well? Why are we not bringing God into our parenting life as if those are not God's children? God, this is your son. Help me learn how to manage him. Help me learn how to handle this. Why are we not crying out to the Lord? God, I'm angry. God, I'm stressed. God, I'm hurting. God, I'm struggling. God, I need help with your son. I need help stewarding well over these children that you gifted me with, that you gave to me to steward. I need help, God. I'm losing my mind, right? Why are we not crying out to God? Instead, we're always crying to our kids. You be so quick to snatch those kids up when really they're just being their age. You're just so overstimulated that you cannot handle it. She said, talk to those kids. Cry out to God. Oh my gosh, thank you, Catherine, because I will never let that go. She also brought up marriage and said, stop talking to that man like he's your son. You need to release him back to his father, but that's a video for a different day, child. Oh my gosh.
And that's a wrap, ladies. I hope you got some gems from this video, whether it was a reminder, a new perspective, or just that little push you needed today. Motherhood is a journey and we're all in this together. If you loved this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you never miss a new upload. And of course, let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Drop your favorite piece of advice from today's video or share your own wisdom. Also, if you're ready to step into your best self, make sure you grab your 30-day glow up journal planner because we're not just surviving, we're thriving. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay glowing, ladies. Bye, loves.